Look at that. Woo. Man. Alright, so real quick, as y'all might have guessed by the title, this video is about what happened to my eye. Woo. Man, y'all see that? It's scar tissue, all types of things going on in there. Anyway, so shout out to a great Philadelphian by the name of Kevin Hart, because he inspired me to do this video. I've always wanted to do little quick story videos and things like that. I normally do a lot of those in my captions, and I feel like everybody doesn't read all my captions, and maybe they want to know certain things, and I guess the best way to do that is to do it in video. So I'm doing this video. This is one of many stories I'm going to give over time, and I hope you enjoy. But it's not really something to enjoy, but it's kind of informative, and maybe somebody out there can relate to it or whatever. But so basically, I'm 36 years old. When I was 5 years old, I was playing in a daycare. The daycare was, I had this wall inside of it that, I guess on one side of the wall there was a coat rack, there was like junk, and I think it was junk. Maybe in my mind I'm thinking of like the worst case scenario for what was behind this wall, but if I can remember, it had a lot of things behind it, things dangling. It looked like something out of a Hellraiser movie. So like me being a kid and like all of us kids playing around, I remember we were playing tag one day, and we were playing around, we were running behind this wall, and the wall was like, it wasn't like a wall where it touches the ceiling. It almost looked like somebody built just like a separation. So I guess it would be considered like a divider wall or whatever. So that's what kind of wall it was. So we were playing around, running around, playing tag. And I remember me running. And one time that I ran behind a wall, being a kid, thinking I'm a superhero, running all fast, not paying attention, I look behind me, and then I turn around. Once I turn around, bam! Like my eye like crunched, and it felt like I got punched in the face, and like I saw stars, and I heard like noises in my head, and it was like the craziest thing ever. And I remember like screaming and yelling, my eye, like I can't see, my eye, I can't see, help. Craziest thing ever. And my eye was watering constantly. Long story short, I go to the hospital. I get there. I forgot the order of events, but end up finding out what happened, and come to find out, the whatever it was, I don't know if it was a piece of metal or a coat hanger or something was dangling. When it poked me in the eye, it pierced my eye and knocked out my lens. So that's why I couldn't see anymore. And basically, like, all of our eyes have lenses, and that's basically what shines the light through, and all the technical things or whatever. And the water wasn't just like tears, it was like jelly. They call it jelly, and that's basically like what's in your eye. It's almost like the blood of your eye. So they told me that like my lens was out, I wouldn't be able to see unless I had to get a new contact lens put in. I had to actually wear a contact lens. And this is back in the 80s. This was like 88. So I don't know what kind of technology they have now, but back then I had to wear a contact lens. And then they stressed to me how much I should need, how I needed to wear an eye patch for a significant amount of time after like the surgeries that I was gonna get. Or I might have had one surgery right from the jump, and they told me this after the surgery. It's so vague. I know I had several surgeries when I was younger. I remember getting so many needles, going to the hospital so many times, getting blood work done. Man, as a kid, that is like traumatizing. And this is just one story. Like I said, I got a million stories. But so like I remember like not wanting to wear the eye patch, so I didn't wear it. And they told me like if you don't wear this eye patch and let your eye heal, you know you're gonna regret it. You're gonna run into complications later in life. I wouldn't listen. I tried the contact thing. I said, oh, that's uncomfortable. Like they gave me these like uncomfortable contacts. I wore glasses every now and then. I wore them when I left the house, but then I would like put them in my pocket once I got away from my grandma, because like I just, you know, kids are mean, man. They'll talk about you and man, it was hard. So I didn't want to be talked about. Already I was being talked about just because of my eye, and it wasn't as bad, so to speak, as it is now with the scar tissue, but it was like funny looking and all that back then. And man, I had several surgeries. What happened when I was a teenager, so this is like, I'm just going to make this short, I'm not going to make it too long, this video. As a teenager, I remember playing with my homie. I don't know if we were play fighting or whatever. I got poked. He poked me in the eye with his finger. Like it might not have been hard, but it like definitely startled me. And man, I remember just like going a whole day. Sleep. I might have slept on. I forgot exactly the order of events with this as well. But I remember just going through the whole day in like this excruciating pain. It was like some of the worst pain I've ever felt. And I was going through it. I was over a friend's house, and you know, I'm like talking to people, and I'm just like holding my eye like this, like straining, and just it felt like the worst thing ever. So by the evening time, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I told my friend that I said I think I need to go to the hospital. So his dad took me. Come to find out, I had a detached retina. So that finger that poked me like detaching my retina somehow. I guess my eye was already weak at that point. So long story short, I had to get surgery again, and they put like a buckle or something in my eye. And so just imagine like going through that whole day with like a detached retina. It felt like a Charlie horse or a cramp or something like the whole day. Just imagine like a Charlie horse that never goes away, but in your eye. That's what that was like. And then I had to go to like a new school. I was in a group home, so I was in a high school out in the suburbs. I ended up moving back to Philly around like age 15, 16, and maybe 15. And I'm in this like new high school orientation, and you know, my eyes all puffy and swollen, and they're probably looking at me like, this guy's like, what's wrong with his eye? And yeah, so like I dealt with that. And if you look up here, I have like a scar. When I was like 3rd grade, I was in boarding school for a year, Girard College. Somebody threw a stick and it hit me in the eye, and I had to get stitches here. And here, like I fell on the stove, the corner of the stove, and left a crazy scar under here. So like my eyes have been through some crazy battles in itself. Man, and you know, dealing with like people calling me one eye and this and that, and these things in a negative way. I mean, it's just so amazing now. I like paint things with one eye. I call my art shows Blind Eye Art Show. I do everything that was used against me for me nowadays, and it's just like a great feeling to like finally embrace like who I am, like all my flaws, everything. You know what I mean? I can still do everything anybody else can do until I close my right eye, at least. But man, I got so many stories I could tell with the eye. There was like one other thing I wanted to mention, but I can't quite think of it. But that's the story of my eye. I hope that it was informative. If I can remember anything else, I'll make another video. But I got many stories, so this is, like I said, the first of many. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Hopefully y'all watched, and peace out.